Hey folks, back with ancient cosmology. Let's see, I made a new comparison here of the scorpion from Göbekli Tepe Pillar 43. So here, you can see Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, with the settlement, it's called, this little island right there, has the stinger. But it's like all these seamounts are the legs, I guess, the pointy legs. So yeah, I can kind of see those shapes like going like. Psh, 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 psh. I mean, you could say there's technically like a zillion of them, but here it just shows like 4 or something. And then this pointy one here, St. Croix, I think either represents this pointy foot thingy, or it's this kind of random shape next to it that is just a floating pointy thing. So yeah, I'm not totally sure. There's some of these kind of little, what seem like carvings, but I'm not totally sure if they are carvings or what, on the seemingly blank spaces. And then I guess these parts, it could be like this, probably be like one of those, and not sure which would be the other one, but yeah. I'm trying to make better comparisons of the whole stela with a better angle of this. Like, the hard thing of this is it's easy to show all of these things. Like, you can pan out and pretty much show all of America, but just the heads of these two, like this, the vulture's head and the crane's head, or whatever it is, are often virtually impossible to see in a photo this big. So the only reason they're so visible here is because I tweaked with all the colors, changed the what is it, the hue, changed the contrast, changed the saturation, and then I set it on cartoon mode, so it kind of like reinforces all the lines. So that's the reason it's so visible. But then, of course, when I do that, it always screws up this guy, Baru Peninsula, which is the headless guy. So kind of a lot of catch-22s in this work. So yeah, these guys, like on the thing, their heads are bigger than they really are, I guess. And same with this one. This one's head is bigger than it really is. So sometimes I do comparisons where I just zoom in on their heads and, put a zoomed in, paste a zoomed in image over for their heads. But that can be awkward too, especially since I don't have any special equipment or ability to like photo edit or whatever. I just use my phone. So yeah, I'm trying to get a good angle of this, I mean, this I think is better. I feel like it should be like this, kind of diagonally, so that it kind of accounts for all these shapes. I mean, a lot of these avatars, it's impossible to get them exact because they're kind of in a different position than they actually are in the geography. But this is closer, I think, compared to just having it, having that just pointing that way or having it pointing up. I think some kind of diagonal thing seems to work better. And, And let's see. I was talking last time about the goddess, the birth goddess Hinitiwaiwa, that seems to be represented in this amulet or whatever. But I was also reading that tiki, because these carvings are also called Hei Tiki, and that tiki is supposed to be the son of the heaven he god and the earth she god, goddess, whatever. So that could indicate that tiki is Kronos, Saturn, because Kronos is the son of Uranus, who is the male god who represents the entire sky, the heavens, just as in the Egyptian system, the heavens are the goddess Nut, who mates with the earth god Geb. But in the Greek, it's switched around. So the earth god deity is Gaia, the goddess, and mating with Uranus, and then creating Saturn, Kronos, who might be the same as Tiki. Ooh, I got poked. Nice. What the okay. I'm gonna try to go down to some other things that I haven't shown in these videos yet. It's hard for me to remember where I started doing these. I don't know, maybe I'll just show a bunch of this stuff anyway. I think I showed this. This just shows the difference between the eyes with the circle around it, which are the islands with water around them, and then the one that's just a dot, which is like Lake Pontchartrain there, which is just a lake, which is now filled with ice or whatnot. So yeah, you can see how this one's body like expands out, so it presumably is South America. See, I was looking at these Japanese things, I was thinking that these might relate to geography, like there's a chance this one is representing Hispaniola, but it's pretty hard to know. A lot of these, a lot of ancient magic is very esoteric, so that if you're not initiated into it, you're never going to recognize anything. I'm lucky that some of it is recognizable sometimes. Cuba. So yeah, this one I was thinking, because it's all these paintings of hell, of the underworld, which is America. So I was thinking like this bird, it could be this island here, which is in this in the Gulf of Guayaquil, I think. And that this other stuff could relate to all the other weird little islands around there. I was thinking this shape could be Trinidad. That looks very similar to that shape. That this guy could be Isla Puna in the Gulf of Guayaquil. And then as I showed, there's that bird-shaped island right around there, and then all this other stuff in there. Hard to be sure. Amentet Neferet, the beautiful West. The Egyptian goddess who is America, and we could see her white hair being, the glaciers and whatever on Greenland. And then she's kind of like spitting or like drooling or something, because there's like these little islands that come out here, and also like her whole mouth is kind of watery. So she's kind of like drooling or something, which happens sometimes to the best of us. From they're still doing the fact check shit. Oh yeah, this is one where it's Tlaloc in Mexico and China, so you can see the teeth like that. Yeah, I think I already showed all these in like earlier videos. These are like, or most of this stuff. These are these parts of the Göbekli Stela, with the gatekeepers, Victoria Island, Baffin Island, and Newfoundland. J.R.R. Tolkien disliked allegory and preferred history instead. Tolkien said, I cordially dislike allegory in all its manifestations, and always have done so since I grew old and wary enough to detect its presence. So here's a guy, like, everything he wrote was stolen, directly appropriated from pagan allegory and just repurposed into some, degenerate fantasy. And so of course he hates, everybody always hates the person they stole from. They hate the girl they raped, they hate the country they conquered. So he based his entire career off stealing allegories and pretending they're literal, primarily Norse allegories. So this is why people are idiots, because there's people like this. Very smart. He's a smart man, but he spent his life making sure that people are as stupid as he chose to be. He also very much hated democracy for the same reason, because, requires thinking, and thinking is not something that he seemed to have been a fan of. I'm just trying to like get to somewhere that I haven't shown yet, but it's kind of hard. I was showing this as Cinderella's sister, probably. This may be another of Cinderella's sisters. This one's in Turkey. Seems like this story is all throughout the Mediterranean and Europe and stuff. And this might be another one in the second oldest version of it, because she's referred to as being in Thrace, and Thrace itself, this is Thrace. So I think this is Thrace's foot, and this is Thrace's boobies, and this is her head. And so I think this might be the head of Apophis, the enemy of Re, the sun god of Egypt. Because in the Book of Two Ways, it says that whoever says, it's referring to this god, Baja California. It calls it carapace face because it has a shell kind of a carapace shell along its western side. But it says do not go on its lower road. So in the map, this is up, like west is up in the map. So its lower road is the Gulf of California. But it says if you do go, you are the one who defeats Apophis. And in the paintings, Apophis is always something, a snake that you sail on, you sail over and through. So I think that this is the head of Apophis, and that its body might be seen as stretching out into the Pacific Ocean, and it might relate to certain currents. So this would be this part would be in here, and then the rest of it might relate to some currents in the Pacific. Let's see, I was showing this one a little bit. It's very, this is the 15,000-year-old French spindle whorl. So this was a tool for weaving that they used in the Paleolithic Europe. But yeah, it's pretty exact, especially on this side where the head is, the mouth is closed. Here it's open. He's like dead and his mouth is open. Like a lot of the gods, they're basically dead, but they're always shown before they died while they were alive. Or especially these earth gods. So I think these, this is a bear. Here's it doesn't show the head of the bear on here, but we can easily see the head of the bear. That's the head of the bear, and this is like an ear or two, and then this is the spear that he stuck into the bear's face, basically throws a spear. And actually, like this seamount or whatever is also the spear. Like a bunch of things are the spear, I think. And then the legs are like these things down there. And I guess this is his wang. But he has a leg in the way, so you can't see his ginormous sack right there in the picture, in the carving. But yeah, again, the shape of the head is very similar. Like this curved shape between the lip and the chin is there. And then this kind of, the whole shape of the head, basically from here to the